In our fast-moving, ever-changing world, new, exciting opportunities are close at hand. We see learning from each other and staying connected with you as key to successfully shaping the future together. Driving your performance is our passion, and innovation is our heartbeat. It is part of our DNA to become better every day and to explore new businesses with you in a strong partnership. This is why we constantly rethink the things we do. We thrive to always find new ways to improve your products, finding the best and most sustainable solutions. Because yes, we care. We love to share our knowledge and expertise with you, live and virtual. Together, we turn your visions into reality and bring new ideas to life. So let's start the dialogue.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our web day. Kiefer is delighted to have you on board today. Last year, we established our Dialogue Day concept, a format to get in touch with you. Let's have a quick glance upon last year's event, and I'm sure you remember because most of you have participated there anyway. Sustainability was one of the key topics there. We all were in favor to see it as an opportunity, not a threat to our industry. We had interesting guest lectures from our partners along the full value chain. The first step of circular economy, so where everything starts, was sorting of plastics. And hereby Tomra explained in-house their sorting solutions and general pitfalls. We headed on with the preparation of recycled material, the second step in circular economy. Erema provided insights about how to prepare recycled material and to extrude it again. The well-known Fraunhofer Institute was invited to report about the actual status of research of diverse materials, because sustainability is also related to the material. One highlight was the world premiere of our new KMD machine. So last year we had a live event, and this year the circumstances, they challenged us with a new format. So we made everything possible, and here we are in our brand new Kiefer TV studio. We hope you like it, and if you do so, please share your comments and your feedback in the chat window. Sustainability and circular economy, these are very important topics, and everyone is talking about that. The COVID-19 discussion did not slow that down. No, it indeed speeded the full discussion up. People have concern about their health. They want to have hygienic packaging. On the other side, they still care about the environment. They want to have sustainable solutions, sustainable and environment-friendly packaging. And that's the key question for today, how to bring both together. And we are going to address that. So now let's have a quick glance upon our agenda. The big topic is how to close the loop. So we're going to start with an expert talk from Stahlinger. They will tell us about sorting and recycling solutions. Closing the loop, it does mean actually to have a tray-to-tray production. And here Kiefer is going to show some solutions of the KMD portfolio. We furthermore are going to explain our rethinking concept. Rethinking not only your product, the design, the function and the material, but as well what to change in the process, in the machine, in the tools. We have a brief overview about our new material competence, fiber thermoforming. And at the end, I'm going to round the discussion up and tell you more about Kiefer driving sustainability. Here, I'm going to highlight our motivation, our commitment, and show you the capabilities and as well competences that we can offer you to support you on your way towards sustainability. And now, who would be better to start with as our beloved colleague Andreas Staudinger, Global Director Packaging. Welcome, Andy.
Hello, Cornelia.
Hello, Andy. I do have a question. Sustainability is a very important topic, and a lot of people are addressing this question. It would be interesting to know from your experience in the last weeks or months, how many people or customers did approach you with exactly that question?
Well, Cornelia, a lot of customers are approaching us with that. That question keeps us really busy. And the focus is mainly on materials. The questions are about recyclable materials, biodegradables, but also alternatives to plastics are being asked. And we as Kiefel, we can offer the right solution. We have answers to that question.
That sounds interesting. And another question, do you have an idea why the customers, the people are approaching Kiefel as a machine builder? I assume it's not related to the nice area we are living in?
I would say in one aspect it is. We have a lot of tourists coming to our area and enjoy that nice scenery. But when it comes to competencies, then we as Kiefel, we have 75 years of experience in the plastic industry, and that's why customers come to us. And this is in addition to enjoy the scenery. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you've joined in today, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Web Day 2020. As mentioned already, Kiefel was founded 75 years ago in 1945. And over the decades, we have changed from a solely machine supplier to a solution provider. In 1960, we started the first inline steel rule cutting machine. This was a real breakthrough in the industry. And at the K-Show in 1998, we launched the KMD Speedformer series, a motoric-driven thermoformer, and there are over 1,000 machines in operation. Last year, we are very proud that we were able to present you the second generation, the KMD 78.2, replacing the KMD 78.1. And that new generation is much faster, it is a smooth running machine, and it is very intelligent. We have not only changed the machines and developed the machines, we also have changed our company. Today, we can offer you product development. We offer you the appropriate production equipment, including tooling, including automation. And of course, training at your premises and a full global service. But today, we are focusing a lot of challenges. And Kiefel was always driven by their challenges, because these are your challenges, and we were looking for the answers. And today we are focusing questions about plastic bashing. We are focusing questions about new laws in the plastic industry. And there are a lot of questions about circular economy and sustainability. So let's find the answers together, and please follow us on our journey from tray to tray recycling. And let's ask the expert when we start with recycling, Let's ask Andreas Stoiber from Viscotec Stahlinger. Andreas, what is cycling about? What are your challenges?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome here from Stahlinger Viscotec in Austria. Yeah, it is a very, very good question. What happens to trays after disposal? But before I answer that question, I would like to introduce my company a little bit and why we would be having the competence to answer that question. As I mentioned, I'm working for Stahlinger Viscotec, and Stahlinger is a family-owned business which is over 180 years old. We have 700 employees worldwide and a turnover of about 250 millions. Viscotec is a division of Stahlinger, and we are making machinery for rPET refinement and recycling. We have two big product categories. One of them would be decontamination and IV increasing equipment in order to make rPET food grade. And the second big category is sheet lines to make thermoforming sheet out of recycled PET input materials. Now, coming back to the question, and you guessed it by now, what is happening with the trays when they are collected? They are recycled. Now, post-consumer recycling has a couple of challenges, and one of these biggest challenges is the legal framework. Here in Europe, we're working with the EFSA as a legal framework. And why this is so important is because you have to be making sure that everything is recycled according to the law and is abiding certain quality standards. And here we're already facing a couple of issues with other materials than PET. Polypropylene, for example, can only be downcycled in the sense that we cannot make a food packaging out of it again. So even if it is recycled and washed, you can legally not make a food packaging out of PP trays at this moment in time. Another material with issues would be multi-layer materials, because they have the same issue as polypropylene, no legal framework. Additionally to that, it is a very undefined stream of different materials that comes together, and of course a very undefined input material gives you a very undefined output in the sheet that would be made into a packaging. So only here also downcycling is possible. If we, however, look at the PET situation, PET recycling in food packaging is decades old, and their legal frameworks are completely in place. It's decades old from bottle to bottle recycling, and exactly the same framework can be used or is used also legally for tray-to-tray recycling. So here we have absolutely no issues with the recyclability and the legality of doing so. Now, what are the benefits of recycling, or of PET recycling in particular? First of all, PET is 100% food grade, and after usage can be decontaminated very easily back into 100% food grade. So this is one of the big advantages. Another very big advantage are the mechanical properties of PET, because these can be lifted up again after the first processing, and use of the post-consumer would be possible to actually lift those mechanical properties back up in order to ensure a very efficient thermoforming process and a very efficient output of this thermoforming process in comparison to other materials like polypropylene. And last but not least, of course, the eco-friendliness. But here I would like to have a couple of slides in a bit more detail of the eco-friendliness of the material. We found a case study about a confectionery packaging that you can see here on this slide. And here, this confectionery packaging was introduced very recently, this year in April, and the comparison was made between 100% rPET compared to 100% virgin. So what is the result? Basically, the 100% rPET is superior in the ecological balance in comparison to virgin tray. For example, there's a 32% advantage in carbon footprint. But that's not all this study looked at. We have a bit more details on the next slide, where you can see that In the first category, as I mentioned, a 32% advantage in CO2, but the next second category was air quality. And here we have an even 70% advantage rPET comparison to virgin. In the third category, the acidic rain was compared, and here rPET has a 70% advantage again. And last but not least, how these processes are endangering aquatic life. And here a 16% advantage of rPET against virgin PET has been found. Now these are the advantages or the ecological advantages of this of recycling. So what does that mean for us as an industry, in the plastics industry as well as in the packaging industry, is very clear. We really have to come together and close the loop in PET recycling. And this is the final vision that you can see on this slide. Is what we have is that this one circle, which is bottle-to-bottle recycling, as well as a second circle of the tray-to-tray recycling, have to be able to go into each other material-wise, input-wise, quality-wise, in order to make it really circular and really beneficial to everybody involved. Now, in order to manage what the bottle-to-bottle recycling is already doing, we need to look at trays and how we produce trays. Because a certain amount of attention needs to be put into how they are looking or how they're made. So what are the prerequisites for true recycling a tray, or to create what we call an eco-tray? It's actually 4 points, more or less. We need to create recycling streams, first of all for transparent trays, then maybe for white trays, for example dairy packaging, and one for CPET. This is important because each of these have certain quality properties which would be diminished if they're mixed into each other. Secondly, all these trays need to be made of monomaterials. That means no more multi-layer, and it also means, wherever we can avoid it, to avoid PET-PE lamination. Technology is in place to go away from PET-PE and is already worked at with many big packaging producers. And last but not least, labeling in colors should be only on the lid of the tray. That goes, for example, prints or labels which are containing nutritional facts, because these have to be on there legally. So we need to have room for these somewhere. And in our view, it is the lid, because it is, first of all, very visible to the consumer. And secondly, it's very easy to separate those two, the tray bottom and the lid, in already existing processes. Very similar to the bottle-to-bottle process, where caps are separated from the bottle. So this is how the tray should be looking like. And now I would like to show you machinery where input tray flake is made back into a sheet for thermoforming. How could that look like? So here in this first shot, you can see a decontamination dryer, as we call it. Here the post-consumer recycled flake is transferred into 100% food grade flake in this super cleaning process. What also happens in this process is we're extracting all the dust from the tray flakes. This is very important because the dust has a huge impact onto the sheet quality of the thermoforming sheet. Also, pre-drying of other input materials like in-house waste makes a lot of sense. This is why we created crystallizers, which again extract a big amount of the dust that is in these input materials in order to get a great sheet quality in the sheet line, as you can see it in this shot. So here is the dosing system where the different input materials would be received, mixed, and then introduced directly into the extrusion step. This extrusion line has only one master control panel because we had in mind to have a very high grade of automatization in this line, meaning a minimum requirement of numbers of operators. You can see everything is very intuitive and relatively straightforward. What I also want to show you is this high grade of automatization I was talking about is an automatic start, We have a counter here in the bottom right where you can see the minutes passing by it takes for the operator to start the line completely by himself from standstill to sheet. You can see he's not moving an awful lot around at all. He is basically just pushing one button, and already by now he fired up the extruder, the dosing system, the roll stack, and everything completely fully automatic by the push of just one button. He's now feeding the sheet into the rest of the downstream, and right now he's cutting the edge trim. That means we are adjusting the sheet to the desired width, and that was done after about 12 minutes into the process, and already the machine is running commercially viable sheet. And with this, I would like to thank you very, very much for your attention. I hope we answered the question, what is happening with the trays after disposal? And with that, I give back to Kiefer. Thank you very much.
Yes, hello, good morning, good afternoon for some of you. Dzień dobry, buenos dias. A warm welcome to the Kiefel webinar. I'm here today for the KMD part. First of all, thank you very much to Andreas Stoiber for this very, very nice and interesting presentation about the Viscotec lines. In fact, I have to say that I experienced already a couple of times in some common projects your nice film quality, I have to admit. And we had trials here achieving up to 50 cycles per minute, really impressive, very nice film. So I'm looking forward to more common projects with you. So if you think about the huge amount of film coming out of those Viscotec lines, and if you are wondering yourself, will I be able to handle that? Will Kiefel be able to handle that? The clear answer is yes, yes we can. By the way, yes we can. We always think that this is the famous phrase of Barack Obama. The truth is, it was another wise guy inventing this. The guy was called Bob the Builder, but this is a different story and not topic of my presentation. However, I would like to give you an overview about our nice and huge KMD portfolio so far. Talking about sheet width, we have a range of machines with 670 up to 925 millimeters we can handle on our KMD machines. And I did a calculation based on this fruit tray you see on the right-hand side. So in terms of gross film throughput based on this rPET material, and we are achieving a production of or usage of film up to 740 kilograms per hour. As an average, you can say the most common machine size in the market in terms of installed base, it's the KMD 78. And you can consider something of around about 600 kilogram per hour. So once you're designing or adapting the extrusion lines to the KMD world, this is a value you can count with. So as I said, Kiefel KMD, different sizes, modular system, so a lot of options to have a configuration of the lines according to your requirements. Let me show you and talk about a little bit some highlights of our machine series. What is important? First of all, in thermoforming, very important is the heating. Heating means, the electrical consumption of the heater banks are representing around about 80% of the whole consumption of the line. So we are using black coated HTS heating elements, ceramic heating elements, and they do consume 10% less comparing to the standard ceramic heating elements known in the market. So this is a remarkable value and something that you really have to reconsider. What else is important in terms of heating? In our philosophy, the reference to have a perfect thermoformed product, the reference has to be just in front of the forming station, the film temperature. So we are using an infrared pyrometer to check and measure cycle by cycle the film temperature, and with the heater control and the heater adjustment, we are adjusting all the heater values in order to make sure that we always are using the same film temperature cycle by cycle, so a very high repeatability. What else is important if we're talking about thermoforming? It's the cutting. And we are using our famous, I have to say in the meantime, KISS cut system. So this means we always make sure that the cutting position is always the same, independent if after a while you have a certain wear of the bearings and so on. All this does not influence the cutting quality. We also found out that during the last years, the rPET qualities are getting poorer and poorer. So this means or from time to time, it's necessary to have higher cutting forces per centimeter cutting length. What I experienced is that a lot of those jobs where it's starting to get critical, our customers are going with those jobs onto the KMD machines due to the fact that the cutting system is really powerful and really with a high repeatability. Precision guiding on the table means that we always have the same cutting position even after tool changes. So this does minimize the effect of the famous angel hairs, also something that is not nice to have on a ready thermoformed product. Another important topic to increase the efficiency of a line is to reduce the downtime. So tool change is an important topic. So we designed the forming station, the stacking station in a way that you are able to have a tool change done within 40 minutes. So a minimum of downtime, operator friendly and easy to handle. Last topic, touching especially our 0.2 generation of the KMD series, is a completely new designed HMI, so interface operator to the machine. It's modern, it's self-explaining. The idea was to have a surface comparable to the smartphones to make it modern and easy to operate. The visualization does include graphic systems, so to show perfectly the process, all the movements, so it's easy to understand and easy to operate. And also we added additional information like manuals, like spare part lists and so on to the system, so you have access to all of those data directly from the machine panel itself. So in our opinion, it's important that it's also making fun to operate a Kiefel machine. And last but not least, this system was winning the Red Dot Award just some months ago. Also important to know. And now I would like to show a short video of the line, the latest KMD 78.2 speed. So welcome back. The next information I would like to let you know is talking about the latest development in our KMD portfolio. So we are having now available also the KMD 78 Power as a 0.2 version. 0.2 means including the latest interface, a lot of features and topics from the KMD 78.2 speed that you just saw in the video, and the special design of the tables in the forming station does allow to use RDK 80 tools without any adoption, one by one, plug and play in a Kiefel machine. What else can we offer to make your production more efficient? Let me show you some examples, like a meat tray with an absorbent material to avoid to have liquids in the bottom of the tray, or could be even a bubble film for fruit panettes, fruit trays to protect the fruits. So this is something that usually is done with offline systems. So if you reconsider a KMD 78 machine size, you probably need 2.5 offline solutions to fulfill this kind of jobs. On top, you have a certain number of operators. You have the floor space, the footprint, and you have a lot of products around. To have this integrated in the KMD machine, we can offer a so-called speed padding system. It's a quite powerful system designed to operate with 20 cycles per minute, but twice the index. So this means you can operate the KMD with a cycle speed or with a cycle time of 40 cycles per minute, and you have inline integrated the padding operation. Also a short video, please. Continuing with automation, something that is also new nowadays due to the fact of the plastics bashing is a so-called hybrid packaging. What is the reason for that? The brand owners and the retailers have as a target to reduce the consumption of plastics in the packaging of their products. So this means we have to think about to reduce film thickness and volume at the end of the day. And in order to have still a stable product and a product that allows you to have a certain decoration, we are minimizing the plastic, and we are using the plastic just where needed as a barrier for food contact and also for sealing. And afterwards, it's very easy for the people at home to separate the cardboard from the plastics. And this follows the idea of the circular economy. So the plastic part, the PET tray, can be easily recycled again, and we are having a closed loop. This process can be also added into a KMD machine, so to introduce the cardboard into the forming station and to have a nice product like that at the end. Last but not least, talking about automation, this is our latest development following the idea to operate the line from the roll, from the film sheet to the card box. So a comparable solution we realized already for KTR6 tilting table machines, automation for coffee capsules at that time. And this one is here designed as a standard, so to say, for KMD 78 size, with a normal stacking system like the upstacker pick and place inline. The idea is to have a stack formation, to have a sleeving, hand packing, a card box erection, back folding, introducing the sleeves into the box, closing the box and put it onto pallets. So this is also in order to reduce operators and to have a fully automated solution. So this is the latest development we are having together with our colleagues from Kiefel Packaging Austria. And the last slide for the moment is also to let you know that we do see us as a system supplier. So we have also tooling solutions in our portfolio. So we would be happy to quote tooling as well, to have to give you the opportunity to get the best out of your KMD and to have nice products at a very high speed, direct cooled tooling. And so for any doubts or any further detailed information relating all the topics we were touching now, please contact your sales partners, and I'm also looking forward to get in contact with you to answer any further questions. So thank you for the moment from my side. And now I would like to hand over to the colleagues from Kiefel Packaging Netherlands to inform you about the latest developments there. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Kiefel Packaging Netherlands. We are the performance tool manufacturer and innovation center of Kiefel. Especially now that the demand for circular products is growing by the day, innovative solutions are the key to success. You only have to look at the biggest brand owners to see in what direction we're heading. For instance, McDonald's states that by 2025, 100% of their guest packaging will be renewable, recycled, or from certified sources. Unilever states that in 2025, 100% of packaging is recyclable, reusable, or compostable. Companies and governments are adopting this vision, and the way they're heading is clear. It's going to be reusable, recyclable, or compostable. At Kiefel, we fully support this vision. So how will we do this? We will use our rethinking strategy. In other words, if you look at the circle, it's going to be rethinking your product, rethinking your design and function, rethinking material and composition, and rethinking tools and machines. And by the end of the day, we can help you with rethinking process and automation. There are 3 tracks visible in the market with regards to optimizing materials. First track is based on polymers. Here you see that a lot of polymers are replaced by others which are more environmental friendly. For instance, polyester is the material of choice for many products, and it's going to replace other products, other materials which are currently used. The second track which is visible is bio-based material. For instance, a large hotel group is replacing their plastic cups by PLA cups. And the third one, which is quite new, is the fiber-based materials. At Kiefel, we meanwhile build up expertise to produce fiber-based products. But we also rethink composition with you. If you, for instance, have multiple layers in your packaging material, we can help you with making it into a monolayer material. But we will also focus on the impact on your machines and tools. If you, for instance, want to switch to bio-based materials, you need to adapt your process. The same goes if you want to use a high percentage of recycled materials, your process and machines will need to be adapted. In other words, together we can make your products recyclable, reusable or compostable. And we will support you in all the steps of the process. In order to do so, we don't only have our tool manufacturing and thermoforming center, but also our laboratory. And this is where all the magic happens. Marius, would you be so kind to show us around?
Of course. Please follow me and I will show you around. Welcome in our laboratory. Here we are working on new product development, working on process improvement and on troubleshooting. In the laboratory we have state-of-the-art equipment for this cause. We can analyze the material properties with our DSC and TGA. We can also analyze mechanical properties like the impact or the E-modulus. We can also measure barrier properties, for example oxygen or water vapor. We can also do computer simulations to check product properties. Besides those analyses, we have much more possibilities. But perhaps it would be better when I explain that based on a few examples. Take for example this yogurt bucket. In the market there is at the moment an increasing pressure, especially from retailers, to downgrade the product weight, even up to 20%. And that's not easy, normally already, but especially when you're already on your limits, it's even more difficult. When you look to this cup, this is an injection molded bucket. We will investigate whether we can produce this product with thermoforming. How do we do that? First, we start with investigating the product features, the material and the product properties. We use reverse engineering to find out how we can make the cup with 20% less material. During this investigation, we will check how the tool should look like to create the specific product features. For example, a certain lid fit or a tamper evident. As soon as we have the idea how to do it, we will make a test tool which we will run on our thermoforming test center. As soon as the products are ready, they will be analyzed in the laboratory on material distribution, but also on the special features, what I said, the lid fit or the tamper evident. If the product is 100% to your satisfaction, we can start engineering and producing the production tool. When a production tool is delivered at your site, you get support from our service engineers to start up your production. Another nice example is this CPET light cup from 100% recycled PET material. Because of the changing European legislation, there is more and more attention for using recycled material. However, you can imagine that using more recycled material have a huge influence on the process and the final product properties. And that is exactly where we want to support you as customer. Just as an example, we had a customer who had problems with his cutting behavior of his polypropylene capsule. We analyzed this material and we found out that there was far too much polyethylene in the material. We solved this problem together with the material supplier by using another type of master batch. But let's go back to the CPET light example. This is made from 100% recycled PET. And PET is the ideal material to realize the circular economy. Because with the right pre-treatment, the PET can be used for food safe applications again. This PET cup is produced in our thermoforming test center with 100% recycled PET material, which is prepared by Stahlinger. Because of the right tool development, material development and process development, this PET product is heat resistant up to 100 degrees. And therefore it can replace existing polystyrene products in the market. I show you this example to show you that with the combination of these developments here internally, together with collaboration through the value chain, in this case with Stahlinger, we can find solutions for existing and for new markets. So in other words, if you have to do something with recycled material, please let us know. We will be gladly of help. From 2021 upon, there will be a ban in the European Union on expanded polystyrene. Therefore, we get more and more questions from our customers for alternatives. Together with SML, an Austrian extrusion company, we developed two solutions. One of them is polypropylene foam. It is a safe alternative which have no compromises on recyclability. Dependent on the market where you are operating in, PET foam will be another solution. Together with SML, we focused especially on the foam structure, because during the development project we found out that the foam structure have a huge influence on the thermoforming process, but also on the final product properties. Therefore, the foam structure is heavily investigated during this project. Besides our efforts on recycled materials, we have also extensive experience with alternative materials. For example, biomaterials, fibers, or other types of paper. That can be really a solution when products are hard to collect or hard to recycle. For example, this coffee capsule. We are developing this coffee capsule from a biomaterial. Besides the barrier, there are a lot of other challenges and other challenging product features which have to be incorporated in this product. And therefore, this product is one of the ongoing and exciting product development projects we have.
Unfortunately, we could only give you a quick impression of our research facilities. There's a lot more to talk about because every product has its specific challenges. If you can help to make your product better, lighter, stronger or more sustainable, if you can help to make your process more efficient, or if you need a thermoforming tool that fits all your needs, let us know and we will support you.
Thank you, Marius, and thank you, Eric, for your open and warm insights to Kievel Packaging Netherlands. Please get in touch with us if you, dear valuable customers, have any questions, requirements or demands in the case of tooling or in the subject of material. So we as Kievel, we are striven forward to go with you the best approach for our technical support and also to make tailor-made solutions for you. My name is Daniel and I welcome you from my side to the Kievel webinar. Today you heard a lot about Kievel, how we go with KMDs, also with recycling from Stahlinger Viscotec, and the same with Eric and Marius regarding tooling and material. So now I want to go with you into the capsule and cup world. So these products, how we can produce it in our Kievel machinery, what are our solutions, what is our improvements in the last few years, and therefore I want to go with you onto a time journey. So on my slide, you can see a timeline. The timeline is how we started in the present and the past tense and how we go to the present tense. So in the past tense, we have a joint venture together with our valuable customer Greiner, where we go with the Tier 4 and Tier 3 into the market. So after this starting period in the tilting world, we improved our machinery and go for the first Kievel thermo runner, the KTR 3, 4, 5 and 6. So as you know, Kievel, we're always trying to be one step ahead, to improve our products, to listen to you, what is your demands, your requirements, and how we can support you in the best way. So with our success story of our KTRs, we launched in 2019 on the K-Show our totally new future product, present product. So it's called the KTR 5.2. And here on my slide you can see the new system, the new design, and I also want to show you a short video where you can see the production from the beginning till the end, where we made the automation stacking and also bring the cups into the carton box. So please enjoy the video and I want to show it to you now. So welcome back to me in the studio. I hope you enjoyed the short video of our KTR 5.2 machine, and therefore I want to bring you a little bit closer our new improvements. So starting with the heart of the machinery with our main drive. Therefore we listened to you and we said, okay, we want a strong and faster execution of our machinery. So for our forming and cutting station, we improved the new main drive system. We also make some improvements in the column discs of the shape and of the geometry. So therefore we have a strong execution now, and also we can go faster and have a higher output. So on the picture you see the new design of the main drive and also the main drive in the machinery. And for this big step we really did a lot also with universities together to improve it and to bring the best possible solution to you. And this is all included in our KTR 5.2. But not only the main drive was a challenge for us or improvement from us, we also did some improvements in our heating system. You heard a lot from my colleague Alex that we do it in the KMD as well now in the KTR. So therefore we made with our supplier together a new heating system, a new isolation and a new setup of the heating elements. So heating, you see a small breakdown on the slide, heating is a very big piece of the cake in the machinery costs. So I don't want to talk about material costs, because material costs are mainly in the extrusion side or on your side. But we as Kiefel, we only can influence the machinery. So the machine costs and the product costs at the end. And as you see here, 30% approximately are energy costs. So imagine we save now 10% of energy consumption and get the same or the better energy efficiency into the foil. So we not only trying to get higher force or get a faster speed, we also try to make our machine green, and together with improvements regarding the speed, we go a sustainable way. And from the heating, we come to the counterpart, to the cooling. So the cooling system, we heard a lot about our customers and suppliers that they wanted to have wishes regarding independent cooling circuits and also higher flowing rate. So therefore we said, okay, in our KTR 5.2, in our future machine, which is now available since 2019, we go with 2 valves, 2 pumps, so that means 2 independent cooling systems. And therefore we have simplified our operations. With our simplifying of the operations, the operator on site can adjust between the upper and the lower tooling, and this with a small gap of temperature difference. So, you know that the limitation of a product of the running is mostly regarding tooling or stacking. Tooling is very important too for fast output and for high output rate. And this is why we said, we give you the option, we listen to you and go for 2 independent cooling circuits. And you also, if you're affected by water supply in your house system, we are more or less more independent and can switch and arrange the gap. So we heard about heating and cooling, and now I want to go with you to our tool change system. The tool change system was a thing where we see, okay, we can do some improvements. We want to make the life easier for our customers and especially for the operators. The operators always the guy who have to work with it. So it's important to listen to these guys and to make together a tailor-made solution for everybody. And therefore we set new standards, a totally new standard. So we have now remote control. So it's easier for the operator to have a small space area and he don't have to go around the machine to go to the panel again. So it's all in the small area concerning the tool change. We also have a new yoke system. With the new yoke system, we can support you with a parallel adjustment, a very easy parallel adjustment. Also bring the tooling out or in the machine with tool frames and also with tool change systems. So it's really easy with guiding rails, and we can do it under 1 hour. So you can save 30 minutes, more or less 30 minutes regarding the other systems, and we can guarantee you 100 hours of more production. And the production time is the important thing. You don't want to lose time regarding tool changing or some other things. You want to run it, the machine, you want to have production time. So, and therefore we made for you the new tool change system. And after heating, cooling and tooling change system, I want to go with you into the HMI world. So, Steve Jobs bring to us the iPhone, not the Kiefel phone, the iPhone, and we tried to combine Steve Jobs' invention system to bring it to our Kiefel world. And therefore, we invented our Kiefel smartphone. I call it Kiefel smartphone because it's like an iPhone, or like, you know, the system from your mobile phone. So with apps and also with the intuitive system and very easy to handle it. So it should be so easy that every guy who has a mobile phone can run a Kiefel machinery because it's self-explaining. And this is what our guys in the software engineering did. So we tried to bring the mobile phone into our Kiefel, and therefore I have picked a full picture of, you can see it here, the full picture of our HMI. This is a turnkey system. So we're starting at the preheating, then we go through the infeed to our forming station, forming and cutting station, and later on to the stacking. And from the stacking, I go a little forward now, we go to the carton box with the product, and later on to the grinder. So this is a dashboard, and on this dashboard, the operator has every necessary part and thing. And further on, we have our after sales or e-service portal included in this system. So it's very easy as operator or as plant manager, if you need some drawings or you need some after sales spare parts, you can easily go through the HMI and have contact with us to see how is the machine running, what are the necessary parameters for your machinery. So this is one thing we want to assure you, production, and we want to make the life easier. And from the Kiefel smartphone, I want to go with you to the Kiefel automatization. So now we know how we produce this cup. From the foil, we come to the machinery, and we're producing cups or capsules or other products. But after that, how we can stack it and how we can bring it to the customer, to your customer. So in the yellow frame in the picture, you see our automatization, which is invented by Kiefel Packaging Austria. And therefore, we made a new system, especially for the KTF 5.2, which you can see here. And we launched it also on the K-Show 2019. So let's start with the Kiefel Speed Stacker. A Speed Stacker, the former name of the Speed Stacker was the Pickup Stacker. This was the first highlight of starting with Moldematic and Kiefel together. And now we're going to the Kiefel Speed Stacker. And the Speed Stacker stack your product into a basket, and then, because this is a combined unit, from the Speed Stacker we bring it to the carton box. So first we stack the product and then we bring it to the carton box. The carton box is also available, it's called the MCP, Modular Cup Packer, is also available as a standalone unit. So if you have decoration systems or printing systems, you can also bring your MCP to these units and to pack after printing or decoration system the product to the carton box. And especially this unit is for horizontal packing. So you see in the slide there are different packing patterns. So if you have any questions here for the packing patterns or which products you can bring to the carton box and stack, please don't hesitate to ask us. We have also different systems, not only for round products, especially for non-round products. So please get in touch with us. But to bring you this a little bit closer and to underline my words here, I want to show you a video, and it's regarding the MCP. So MCP is the Modular Cup Packer, which brings the product to the carton. Please enjoy the video, and we will see after the video again. So, and now we bring the whole product from the process to the carton box. And in general, my journey here is over because I'm at the end, because my product is in the carton box. But now I'm asking Andi Staudinger, Andi, is this really the end?
Hello, Daniel. No, I hope this is not the end. And I promised you, we will take you on a journey. And when we talk about circular economy, when we talk about sustainability, we have to think beyond. And we are just in the cardboard box. And in the cooking shows, normally it was said, I have prepared something, which I did. Yeah? And the cardboard is another material we can use. And in the last months, Kiefel has developed a new machine to process fiber products. And this machine concept is based on our knowledge about the plastic industry, about machine building. But let's ask the expert. Let's ask our head of fiber, Armin Dietrich, to tell you a little bit about fiber machines.
Yeah, thank you, Andy, very
Armin,
much.
go ahead.
I will follow up with this journey, talking a bit about fiber thermoforming at Kiefel. Today you heard a lot about rethinking our product, rethinking the material, rethinking the machine and process, but I would like to dig more into the material itself. So, you know, Kiefel is providing thermoforming machines since many, many years, and we have a lot of experience working with polymer-based materials as well as bio-based materials like PLA, PHA. And since 1.5 years, we made the huge step into working also with fiber materials. So what is fiber really? To give you a bit of feeling, fiber is based on cellulose. You can use renewable materials like woods, plants, or sugarcane, or you can also use recycled waste paper. And we are saying there is a big difference. We have on one side virgin fiber, which you should use for food packaging because of the hygienic standards you have there. And on the other side, for transport packaging or agriculture parts, you can use post-industrial fiber. Coming now to our product, we already sold machines to Europe and US. The machine is called KFT90. We have this machine available as a speed and as a flex version, and I would like to give you some highlights of this machine. This machine has a robot inside, so it's very easy to make a tool change, to maintain the tool. We are using all the well-known components which you know from the plastic KMD world, like the stations and so on. We are using servo-driven engines all over the machine. And you can also have this whole customer-oriented automation which you know from the KMD world, like packing, sleeving, stacking, and so on. But I would like to give you no presentation today. It's more or less an invitation. We are making a dedicated fiber webinar on the 28th of October. So if you would like to get some more information about Kiefel thermoforming in the fiber industry, please feel free to join this event. And now I would like to give you an overview showing you the KFT90 video, which we made on our shop floor, where you can see the production of agriculture parts, the flower pot.
Welcome back, and we really hope that you like our new nature format. So now we have a more general topic in the next 10 to 15 minutes. It's about sustainability and the question why we care and you should care too. We're going to show you how we can support you on your journey towards sustainability. Well, we have a lot of topics around in the newspapers. The headlines are full about plastic pollution, the plastic bashing topic. Everyone is concerned about the environment. You know that the European Commission, for example, they have a ban on single-use plastic by 2021. The German Federation even goes one step further. They want to have the ban already by mid of 2021. If you look overseas into the United States, the Californian laws, they are very ambitious as well. They want to increase their recycling rates. And last but no means least, there are a lot of discussions about having taxes on packaging waste. So we don't know where the road is heading to. But for sure, it's not the end, and we don't know what's about to come. It's driven the full discussion about or from ambitious politicians and anxious consumers. And this is very important for us to understand, because we see sustainability as a solution, as an opportunity. And the only solution is for us to get involved in the full discussion. So we're going to talk about now the motivation from KIFL, why we get involved. We're going to talk about our commitments. So what are we going to do? What are our statements, our strategy? And then we talk about the capabilities and competences that we have gathered throughout the last months and years, not only when the discussion started in the news and in the headlines. We provide as well a quick glance upon some projects we are engaged in to show you that we supported already customers in their journey towards sustainability. So our motivation, it is various. And the first one is we want still to meet the customers and the consumers' requirements. And they are diverse. You see that the people tend to have less packaging or sustainable packaging. There is an insecurity on how to have a sustainable packaging solution. You know that retailers and as well brand owners, they discuss it in detail. You have seen it before by our colleagues from the Netherlands. So there are a lot of retailers and brand owners, they have ambitious targets to use more recycled products, to use less non-economic friendly products. And these are all anchored in their mission statements. They are forced to react, and so do we. Another point is, of course, we are driven by regulation and laws. As mentioned before, European Commissions, the federal states, everyone is forcing their attempt towards sustainability. So they think about taxes, they think about bans for using some specific materials, and we have to use to that. We have to react upon that. And the final point is, of course, we are still humans, and we ourselves want to prevent and maintain the future's health and, of course, save the environment. So all this together, this is creating a new challenge, a new situation for us. And here we have to react with new ideas, with new solutions. And we really think that the full discussion around sustainability is driving as well our innovation strength. And we're going to show you now how. Because after each motivation, there is as well a commitment. The commitment from KIFL is quite simple. We have 3 major points. The first one is we turn green challenges into sustainable innovations. What do we mean by that? Well, we generate new product ideas for the future. We actively shape research and solution findings for sustainable alternatives. The second point is we connect cooperate and educate. Well, our goal is we want to be ambassadors and educators for the correct handling and recycling of plastics. So see, for example, our Dialogue Day concept. We share our knowledge with you to find the most advanced solution. We are experts and consultants in the field of materials and machines. We have a network along the full value chain. We cooperate with partners and we share our knowledge. And the third point is rethinking. We already have seen the rethinking concepts introduced by the colleagues before, but just to mention it again, it's a really interesting concept and we commit to that. We rethink. We want to have reusable, recompostable and recyclable materials, and we support you in that question. Interesting and very important to mention here is that our commitment is really anchored in the full DNA. So in every step of the DNA, of Kiefel's DNA, we have gathered our competences. We have enlarged our competences to really serve you for your sustainable way. Well, after the commitment, we have as well some competences. And the competences I would like to highlight here is research and analysis. It's very important to understand the market. And here we gather the data. We collect the data analysis by external partners, but as well internally. We try to understand where is the road heading to, what do we have to expect and how do we have to react. How can we consult as well our customers to be better prepared for the future? So for example, we consolidate in big data all the commitments from big retailers and brand owners to really determine and understand why and what material they want to ban, what are their ambitious targets, and again to react upon that. Another point I would like to mention as before, rethinking. Rethinking not only the product itself that you have placed in the center, but rethinking its design, the function, and as well, finally, the process and machine, tools and automation. And another point I would like to highlight here and is really showing our strength in market research and in getting adapted to changing environments is the competence about the additional material. So we are experts in working with recyclable polymer materials. We are experts in working with bio-based materials, but as well and newly with the fiber-based materials. So no matter what material you are going to choose, we have the competences and the capabilities to work with that, to consult you and finally support you in the sustainable product. At the end, I would like to show an overview about our engagement, some projects that we think could be interesting for you, to show you where we are involved and where we can share our competences with you. So if you think, for example, the recyclable coffee capsules, this was a project from customers in the United States and USA. Here, we converted the coffee capsules from PS to a more and better recyclable PP material. And this includes as well the correct density of zinc float separation in the sorting stream. Another point I would like to mention is the strong collaboration with material institutes. So for example, we work closely together with the Fraunhofer Institute from Munich and Leipzig to really understand about the additives, the material behavior, and include that in our machine competence. Another example that you might already know is the project with the partner SML. Here we developed a foamed material that allows us to reduce the material by around 50%. And this is as well material saving and environment friendly. A project that I would like to highlight here is the PRINT6 study. In the next days and weeks, we're going to publish together with the project partners the results of this study. Well, the point was here that since monomaterial packaging is often printed directly instead of being labeled, we face several issues here. And we investigate here the impact of printing inks on the recycling process together with the other players in the value chain. The results are very positive and we are excited to share the results soon with you. So we hope to provide an overview about our capabilities to support you on your journey to sustainable solutions. For now, I would like to show you a video, a rethinking video for about 2 minutes. And in the meanwhile, we are going to select and collect all your questions and answer them shortly in our Q&A session. So enjoy watching and see you in 2 minutes.